With all the festivities, we're going to be talking about something which I think is quite happy, actually, although it is a bit of a gear change in tone. MediMusic is a British tech company that's developed a technology to prescribe music as medicine to reduce pain and anxiety, and has created a playlist of relaxing songs for people living with dementia. It's being piloted at the moment in a care home to help the 29 residents after NHS trials found it reduced the heart rate in anxious dementia patients by 25%. It's also being made available free of charge to all families and care facilities to use. Joining us to discuss this further is the CEO of MediMusic, Gary Jones. Hi, Gary. Thank you very much for joining us this evening. Tell me about MediMusic.
So MediMusic is designed, as you said, to reduce anxiety in dementia, but also reduce pain and reduce anxiety generally. And how we do that is we fingerprint using artificial intelligence and machine learning. We fingerprint the catalogue of music, the global catalogue of chart hits from all the record labels, and then dispense it so that it mimics the human brain's response and dispense it as a playlist over 25 minutes that's designed to reduce heart rate, increase heart rate variability, promote the good hormones such as oxytocin and dopamine, the happy hormone, and reduce cortisol, the stress hormone.
Neil, I believe you want to come in and ask a question.
Yeah. Hello, Gary. Good to see you. I find this absolutely fascinating. I've seen many times over the years, a film of, say, a concert pianist who's had a long career playing, and then is struck by Alzheimer's at whatever point. And while other facilities go, even memory, placed in front of a piano keyboard, where they belong, you might say, they are still able to play the music. Is there, why is it? What is it about us as animals that we have this such a profound, deep and long-lasting connection to music?
So a number of scientists argue that music is a natural language. And if you look at how the brain responds to it as a stimulus, the brain responds, more parts of the brain are involved in the response to music than any other stimulus. In fact, it's the kind of middle brain, the limbic system. And the hippocampus is the area of the brain that you're referring to, where music and memories are held. And for whatever reason, we still don't quite know why, they are the last memories to go in the case of dementia.
And I would like a little bit more information there about how on earth you tailor music to someone who presents with Alzheimer's. How on earth do you go about providing them? We're all such unique creatures. It sounds like an unbelievably, striking a needle in a haystack to find the right music that would have that sedative or that reassuring effect on any given individual.
Yeah, so that approach, how you deal with someone with dementia, is different from how you would deal with someone without dementia. And in the latter case, you'd ask about their musical tastes, or we kind of connect with streaming music services and look at their play history that helps define what their kind of musical fabric of their life is, and then build the playlist out of that. With dementia, because that kind of choice and memory goes, it's really unlocking what's in the hippocampus. And the way we do that is auto-create playlists that are tied to, say, the charts, to events, social events, news events, those kind of things. So punk music being an example, and so on and so forth. And that's what kind of underlies everything we do. And that's been built out of a systematic review of many scientific papers that look at how we consume music, both as male and female, which are different, over our life, how musical tastes change, the type of consumer we are, how news affects us. It's a very complex mix of sciences, including sociology and psychology and so on.
Is there any connection there? I've heard often as well over the years that when someone's coming to the very end of life, and perhaps even on their deathbed, as it were, that the sense of hearing it can be the last sense to go. And that's why it continues to be so important to keep talking to someone, even when all other signs of life seem to have departed. And I wonder if there is something else there about that fundamental connection between people's souls almost and sound.
Yeah, quite possibly. I mean, and certainly in terms of processing music, we all listen to music as a whole, but the brain actually splits it. So it's generally lyrics to the left, music to the right. And then if you take the auditory cortex, which is obviously where the ear sits, that's responsible for processing tone and harmonies and a whole wealth of other information associated with a piece of music. So the brain actually splits it and separates it out. Whilst we kind of, our personas take it on board as a whole piece, but it's actually the brain's very clever in that way. And as I said, we still don't know a great deal about that, or science doesn't know a great deal about the brain, but we certainly know, how it processes music at this stage and how we can use music to affect well-being and reduce anxiety and pain.
Right, now, Gary, apparently you've created a playlist for each of us, and the first one is for Neil. This is a playlist designed to deal with pain, apparently.
Really?
The pain. The song selected for Neil is Shipbuilding by Elvis Costello and the Attractions. Let's take a listen.
You into coat and shoes for the wife, and a bicycle on the boy's birthday.
Gary, why did you choose this song for Neil?
Ordinarily, we would choose songs, as I said here, based on Neil declaring his preferences and his likes, or us accessing any streaming service he may have and look at his play history. So it was a guess. It was a guess taking his age and trying to understand a bit more about Neil, doing a bit of research on the web. It was a bit of a guess. It's in normal circumstances, as I said, we would create them automatically using declared preferences, but we had to do a bit of digging around on the internet and then program the service to basically create something for Neil.
Neil, do you like that tune?
It's strangely appropriate. I do like Elvis Costello, and my wife, Trudy, years and years ago, when we were teenagers practically, made a mixed tape for me, and on it was Elvis Costello, A Good Year for the Roses. And long story short, that his voice and the sound of his music has sort of resonated through my life. And anytime I hear that song and that voice on the radio, it takes me back to my youth and almost to my childhood, I suppose. And I can quite well imagine that if I was in a stressful situation for whatever reason, if I was to hear Elvis Costello singing "Good Year for the Roses," I think it probably would lower my blood pressure. So it's a very apt choice.
Yeah, we were swaying here in the studio to that. It was lovely, wasn't it? Now, the next playlist has been created for me and features the song Let Her Go by Passenger. This playlist is designed to address cognitive impairment, such as dementia, and is tailored to accommodate a wider range of music. Let's have a listen.
Well, you only need the light when it's burning low. Only miss the sun when it starts to snow. Only know you love her when you let her go.
Gary, how funny. I did once have that song on repeat on my Spotify. I do really, really like that song, and it's certainly very calming, so I can imagine it would be in a time of stress. Now, we haven't forgotten our panellists. Gary's made a playlist now for Andrew, and it features the song After the Love Has Gone by Earth, Wind and Fire.
Oh, how sad.
Let's have a listen.
For a while, to love was all we could do. We were young and we knew in our eyes.
Oh, beautiful. Love that. I feel good already.
I know, that was very nice. Gary, why did you choose that one for Andrew?
The same reason for Neil and yourself, really. It was based on kind of your gender, your sex and your age, and kind of where you may have been in your life at that point, drawing on some of the research that we've used in building the algorithms that power MediMusic.
That's a lovely song too. I've liked all of these ones, actually.
I like She Must Go. I like that one as well, all of them.
And last but not least, of course, let's see what we've got for Tom.
Anarchy in the UK.
This is Secret Garden by Bruce Springsteen.
Oh, wow.
Let's have a listen.
She'll let you in her house if you come knocking late at night.
That's very soporific.
Very soporific.
Yeah.
The Boss.
I've got to say, though, that doesn't make the playlist of my podcast, the Skills World Live radio show, where there's a Spotify playlist. So if you want to know, actually, what music I play on the show, I think Born in the USA by Springsteen's on there, but not that one. But that's still... I mean, I'm a child of the 80s.
Well, maybe you can add it, Tom.
You should add it.
I'll have to now. Now I've plugged it. So I will.
Thank you very much, Gary, for joining us this evening and for creating those songs for us, for suggesting those. I think they were I think they were pretty good, and I'm going to listen to that song later, I think. Thank you very much indeed. That was Gary, of course, talking to us about medicinal music. Thank you very much.